let's move on to good tag team wrestling.
Yeah, the best tag team wrestling we've seen.
So we saw the kickstart of the AMW and New Church feud at the end of last month, where they did that killer angle where the New Church laid out AMW as their official return and drove them through some tables and dropped them off stages, and the New Church were like the coolest people on earth. So we come immediately back with AMW doing the best promo of their career on the NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 20, where they're just fired up. They're like, I'm not a cowboy anymore.
He throws the hat down.
He does. He's just like, I am abandoning the shtick. I'm abandoning the gimmick because you made this personal, and now I'm going to kick your ass. And it's so good. It's like, that's pro wrestling. Why are you getting away from this? They got their ass kicked, and now they want revenge in a pro wrestling match that I want to see.
My favorite line, besides obviously for the first time hearing "Sorry About Your Damn Luck," which was like literally like I was like, "Ooh." He said it. The best line for me here is like James Storm. He's sitting there and he's like, I'm one of the baddest son of a bitches. And I was like, oh shit, James Storm.
He's abandoned the buckaroos. He's abandoned the pew pew guns. He just wants to kick some ass. And for some reason, at this point, the crowd turns on James Storm first.
But it's you should have turned on him before.
It's very bizarre that he has abandoned the cowboy shtick, and now during all of these AMW against New Church matches, the crowd are chanting "Kill the cowboy."
I think like they were ready to turn on him, and then they didn't realize that he stopped doing it, and they're like, "Oh fuck." Well, we've committed. We bought all the signs. We have to do it now.
He's being like the biggest, coolest, fired up babyface on the show alongside Chris Harris, and now they have to boo him.
Pissing blood everywhere, all of them.
Yeah, they have a series of matches on these shows. They wrestle basically 3 times in a row. First, a DQ in which New Church were too violent on AMW. Then New Church defeated AMW to win the tag titles, and I think the best of the 3 matches. Mm-hmm. And then they did the return match where AMW were too violent. They did the NXT where AMW looked at their hands and like, why are we so violent? We're hurting all these New Church guys. But yeah, like,
Buckaroo.
For the entire history of TNA so far, the tag team division has been an afterthought. It has been like a vehicle for a Jerry Lynn and AJ Styles feud. It has been a vehicle for their worst impulses with the likes of the Dupps and the likes of the Johnsons. Like, they have not really focused on the tag division. They have not really had a real tag division. And now they found 2 teams, which are perfect polar opposites. You have the violent New Church and you have the plucky, fiery AMW. And they're the perfect like complements of each other to just have these killer tag matches and really invigorate the tag division and really, like, for the first time, lend some real credibility to these tag titles.
100%. And also, like, legitimately, it's nice to have another division to be excited about on these shows, because before this, it's really like, alright, just get to the X Division matches to actually show me some stuff. But now we actually have a pretty hot tag feud to deal with. And, AMW turning into the tag team that Garrett says they are. So I'm excited to see more of it.
It's really fun to see, though. It's nice to see that they don't come out fully formed, because I like seeing that development, of the course of the 6 individual months we've been covering so far, that they've developed from these nobodies, these kind of like blank slate guys who don't really have a personality, who they don't really know what to do with.
Excuse me, his personality was cowboy.
Yes, but no one wanted that. Especially not his tag team partner.
Kill the cowboy.
So yeah, over the course of these months, we've seen them develop from this just like blank slate nothing tag team into like the best babyface tag team in the world.
I mean, 2002, I don't fucking know.
They're just so good together. There's fire. There's everything you want in tag team wrestling. They're the throwback to the kind of tag team wrestling people loved without, as I mentioned before, being pretentious about it.
They kind of remind me of, and this is honestly one of the highest compliments I can give to a tag team. They remind me a lot of the Briscoes. Like, in that they come across very genuine. They come across as, they had very intense. They have that old school flavor, but with that new school style elements to it. It's just good stuff.
And there's so much blood.
So much blood.
Slash bleeds so much on all of these shows.
Yeah, it's great.
Slash is just like, oh yeah, blade. It's like, no one even touched you. It's like, yeah, don't worry about it.
It's still open from the week before, don't worry about it.
He just bleeds buckets on all of the... And it really helps the feud, and it helps the New Church as well, as these demonic cult figures who are just bleeding every week. But yeah, a lot of blood in these matches between AMW and the New Church.
Of course, we've got a New Churchian.
Oh, indeed. First of all, we had Malice back, who did a couple squashes, one of which was a disaster. Because he squashed Chaos on the NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 21, and then he squashed Corey Williams on 22, And he just completely fell off the top rope when he tried to do his King Kong knee drop.
And he was so mad.
He was furious. He was embarrassed. Apparently, he threw a bit of a fit backstage as well. And they had to calm him down because...
No, it was all work. Don't worry about it.
He probably was, to be fair. So yeah, Malice is back and not looking quite so good. But yeah, Belladonna is the other introduction to the New Church. Their female associate.
Just a bunch of derelicts.
She's a local Nashville or Tennessee wrestler who caught their eye. She did, I think it was a dark match with ODB. And then they...
Is this Athena?
This isn't Athena, no.
Who the fuck is Athena? The Athena signs are getting more and more prevalent, and I just want to know who is Athena?
It really felt like it peaked on the show we watched as well, on that number 22 on November 20th. There was Athena signs everywhere on that show.
The most hilarious part was Jeff Jarrett finally winning the NWA title, blood pouring from his face, standing up, and as he stands up, holding the title high... Athena, right behind him, all capitals.
They wanted Athena to win the belt, not Jeff Jarrett.
Well, if I knew who the fuck it was, maybe I'd agree. I'm purposely staying away from it too, because if I don't even know if Athena fucking shows up. If it happens, I want it to be the biggest fucking reaction I've ever seen in my life. If these motherfuckers don't have a CM Punk returning-esque pop for Athena, I'll go back in time to 2002 and punch them all.
You'll be hot at the Asylum if they're not giving Athena all that love after getting her single-handedly booked.
So far, the Asylum fucking stinks. I don't have any reverence? Sure. I don't have any good reverence, is what I was looking for. I don't have any reverence for the fucking Asylum. I don't like it at all. I don't like the people there. I don't care for it.
It doesn't look visually pleasing. It's not a particularly hot venue. It's just the home.
And the fans are dickheads.
Yeah.
Just a bad place.
It is funny, we watched Chris Rock's Head of State for the Patreon, which you could hear our review of now on the Patreon if you'd like, at patreon.com/kiddingme. But it's funny to see how much better the Asylum looked in that movie.
And because they moved everyone to one side.
It's like, oh, so that's what this building could look like if it was shot with some amount of money.
The colours popped so heavy. It was so interesting.
It's like, oh yeah, this building actually looks pleasant to look at instead of like this drab kind of grey affair.